Welcome, good people of the internet. This is the Present Barber podcast. I'm your host, Nelson Carmona, and on this podcast, we share stories from the hair industry and the unique people in it. Today's guest is a very dear friend of mine, Yoyo the Barber. Today, we'll be discussing his wild barber journey and what it is to stand out, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. I hope you guys enjoy the show, and let's get started. Well, welcome everybody. We're here at the Present Barber podcast. We have a special guest today. This is episode 1 with Yoyo the Barber.
Episode 1.
This is the first episode, so I'm still experimenting, but I appreciate you taking the time and coming to interview me.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah,
coming over.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we hung out.
Yep.
I think last time it was in St. Pete and all that stuff. But yeah, so I guess for the people that don't know you, in the barber industry and all that stuff, where did you get like your first start as far as cutting hair and all that stuff? Did you start in the bedroom to yourself, or you cut up some people you knew?
I started basically like I feel like a lot of barbers start like edging myself up, cutting myself up, and then ended up meeting some guys that were trying to open up a barbershop that had no experience on being a part of a barbershop. A couple guys that I met that ended up opening up a barbershop and were in desperate need of barbers.
Got you.
It was like 18-year-old with nothing to do and very minimum barber skills, if you could call it that at the time.
Yeah. Did you cut anybody up before you were at that shop or anything?
Yeah, at home, like you start edging yourself up, and then, like you go to little clubs and little parties, and your boys want to get fresh before the night.
Yeah.
And you start edging them up, lining them up,
Yeah.
getting them fresh or whatever, and that ends up becoming like what they see you as, like,
Yeah,
the
that's like a ritual.
little neighborhood barber,
Yeah.
no official title, and I met a couple guys that decided to put some money up and make a barbershop here, actually in Cape Coral, Del Prado.
Nice.
And they were in desperate needs of barbers. So
yeah, you saw the opportunity.
So I just came up to him and was like, hey, so you need barbers? I'm a barber. Like, are you?
You need people?
You need people? I'll work, whatever.
Yeah.
They said it was crazy because it was a long night of partying. I partied all night that night. And it was like 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning. I had nowhere to go. I was like, hey, let's go to that new barbershop that opened, those guys that opened the barbershop. And let's hang out over there, because that was the hangout. So we go over there at 8 in the morning when they first opened. And no sleep, no nothing. Hey, bro, so what's up, man? You need a barber? I'll work.
Nice.
He's like, let me see. Can you cut? Like, I'll cut myself up right now. He's like, all right, well, go ahead and cut yourself up. Cut myself up, give myself a fade, and line myself up. He's like, well, shit.
If you do that.
If you could do that, you could cut somebody else up. He gave me a 2 weeks probationary period. Try to start working.
Yeah.
Went good for me.
That's what's up. How long did you stay at that shop for?
Well, I was there for, I think it was only open for like 6 months.
Oh, it's closed now?
Yeah, well, it got raided by the police, so.
If you're comfortable talking about it, so what?
Well, unbeknownst to me, first of all.
Yeah.
I want to say, and by the way, I was 17 years old, so I was also underage.
Yeah.
Before anybody takes this and runs with it.
Yeah.
It was a barbershop, and we were, at first, we're trying to get the barbershop known and stuff like that. It wasn't my barbershop, but, I had never worked anywhere like that before, and I've never been invited to join a team before like that, So I, took it and ran with it. And we were trying to, get the barbershop growing. So, we meet people around, meet a couple girls from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And they wanted a job. They wanted to work. Yeah. They wanted to make money. So we asked them, hey, you guys want to go, and hold up signs.
Yeah, outside.
That says, barbershop, cuts, X amount of dollars, whatever. And, basically do it in a, bikini,
Yeah.
to try to attract clientele.
For sure.
You know, like I said before, unbeknownst to us, they gave us fake. Well, not me, because just like I was just a barber. They gave the owners fake ID apparently. So apparently these girls are only 16, 17 years old. I was 17, so I didn't have no gauge of what an adult and child relationship which should be, whatever. So they start holding signs on the side of the road saying free or like cheap haircuts or whatever. Yeah. And that one thing led to another, and I guess the owners of the shop started, messing around with the girls, and one thing led to another. I guess they did some stuff, and like everybody at the time, everybody that was working at the shop at the time was kind of like dabbling within and outside of the law. So there was all kind of crazy shit going on. Like we used to go to the club. I'm talking about 17. I had a fake ID. We'll go to the club, get out of the club at 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and we'll go to the barbershop and party all night at the barbershop. Make a long story short, one day we're just hanging out in the barbershop. I'm just chilling there, waiting to see, some clients walk in maybe. I just finished smoking a blunt, so I'm kind of like out of it, watching TV in the back of the shop. And I just hear the door just bust open. Everybody, hey, everybody get the fuck on the ground.
Oh, no.
Freeze, get everybody getting the fuck on the ground. It's the fucking police. I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't even hear the police part. I just seen people in ski masks dressed in all black with guns. So I'm like,
you thought you were getting
I'm getting robbed. So, me, I always kept something in the trunk. I got my car parked backwards in the back of the shop. So I think, hey, I'm only like about 10 feet from the back door. I'll make it. Yeah. I took about 4 steps. The motherfuckers picked me up. Drop me, drop fucking DDT my ass into the ground. What the fuck? So, by then, they got me fucking hogtied and shit. The fucking police got me hogtied. I'm like, fuck it. I ain't saying shit. I'm like 17 years old. So, you know how it is. You fucking underage. Police got you. Like, man, fuck the police. I ain't telling them shit. Ask me, what's your name? I said, fuck you. So, I'm thinking they're there for something else because I really don't know the scope of what's going on, really. So, like, okay, whatever, I ain't saying shit because I'm thinking they're there for, like, maybe drugs or...
Yeah, something.
Or, somebody has a warrant. Like I said, everybody was dabbling on one...
Was it, like, more of a hood shop and stuff like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a hood shop because... But, all the barbers had a record. Yeah. Everybody had, like... things they had gone through and shit.
What year was this?
This was like 2008.
Yeah.
2009.
I feel like a barbershop in 2008 is completely different than now in 2021.
Well, people weren't really going and getting permits and doing all this and that. They were just like, honestly, it was a lot of people just, like, Cape Coral was so young. It was like, you ever seen Scarface? It's like, Miami's like a virgin pussy waiting to get fucked. Well, basically, that was Cape Coral in 2007, 2008. So, like, a lot of people were getting raided around that time. Like, I didn't have no idea. I was just like, well, a fucking barbershop that's willing to give me, a fucking 17-year-old kid with no fucking experience. Yeah. No, like, nothing. I had nothing. I didn't even have a high school diploma yet at the time, Yeah. So I was like, man, what? I could work here? Bet.
Make money.
Yeah, make money. So that was my entrance into the barber life. So it was kind of different. So we got raided and shit. They get me into the fucking interrogation room, start asking me questions. I'm like, I ain't saying shit. Because I'm thinking it's like a drug raid. I'm thinking they asking like who's the fucking kingpin around here, this and that. So I ain't saying shit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, underage, this and that. Like a prostitution charge or like an underage sex charge. I'm like, underage sex charge? What the fuck are they talking about? And then they're like, oh, well, those girls that's been holding signs up in the front of the shop, they're only 17. I was like, 17? Yeah. I'm just like 21. I thought they were older than me. You know what I'm saying? To the club we going to the club. They're going in the club. Like, they got an ID that says they're 21. Yeah. But apparently, the owner and the owner's brother and like a couple other people were having sex with these girls. Like, luckily, I never, never. I was just in there trying to make money. And, I was 17 anyways, but still, like, I never even got involved in it. And then I come to find out that they were underage, and that was fucking crazy. Yeah. And once they told me that's what they were there for, then I was like completely relaxed because I was like, well, shit, I ain't did shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And apparently they had a fucking video that like somebody leaked out or whatever. So, that was crazy. But it kind of like changed my, like, it kind of like changed the trajectory of my barber career because at that time that was the only barber experience I had.
Yeah, first shop and
first
everything.
shop. So whenever I left there and I was trying to ask people for a job, an opportunity, they were asking me like, okay, where did you work before? I said, okay, well, I worked at B's Barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, B's Barbershop? Oh shit, that's the place that got raided for fucking underage, fucking prostitution, underage prostitution. I was like, oh yeah, well that wasn't me, and I'm trying to explain though, like, hey, I had no idea, like, I promise I had no idea about the shit. Like I'm underage as well, like I'm 17, like I have no idea of what they're talking about, and they're like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
So it kind of like changed, like at that time, it was kind of crazy out here too, cause like I said, like everybody was kind of like on the like. Everybody people have to understand that 2007, 2008, 2009 was at the fucking peak of the great, what's this fucking, not depression, but fucking.
Migration.
The great migration and the great fucking, what's that shit? When the economy falls.
Oh, yeah. It was around the, damn, now I can't.
Yeah, I know. How the fuck do I forget that?
Like it was around the housing boom.
Or after the housing boom.
Yeah, once the bubble burst. It was around the recession.
The Great Recession.
The Great Recession.
Fuck, how did I forget that?
Yeah.
All right.
Trauma.
Fucking trauma. That was a hard time. If anybody that lived in South Florida during 2007, or matter of fact, anybody that left high school and like graduated high school around 2007, 2008, 2009, they were like, I feel like some of the people like, well, I mean, obviously people that owned houses around that time were fucked. But
yeah,
people that were coming out of high school right at that time were like faced by like different, like not knowing where the fuck you're gonna work at or like who's gonna give you a job around that time. Like,
well, I think like there's a statistic that came out like not too long ago, that basically like if you graduated around that time and got like a college degree around that time, like even the people graduating in college, like you weren't gonna get the job that you got a 4-year degree for.
Not only you probably weren't gonna get that job, but you weren't even gonna get like almost an entry level job. Yeah. Bro, at one time, 2007, 2008, I was like, bro, my biggest dream in 2007, well, not my biggest dream, but like one of my major like goals, like accomplishment goals that I wanted to do at the time was even get a job at Foot Locker, bro. Yeah. And I couldn't even get a call back at Foot Locker. Yeah. So that'll tell you like what kind of economy we had at the time. So yeah, we kind of had to like make do.
Yeah.
So
transitioning out of that and all that stuff, what was, I guess, the next shop, or did you end up finding a shop or anything like that?
Nah, man. I looked around for a long time, couldn't find nothing. So I resorted to what I knew best. Street shit. Fucking around, illegal money, trying to get money. And shit got real crazy out here. Like, a lot of people started going to prison. People started getting, like, 5-10 years at a time. And, like, I that's one thing. Like, even though I did, like, a lot of crazy shit when I was younger, and, like, I never lost track of the fact that I could fall at any moment. Yeah. So, I was never blind to the fact that I could, spend a lot of time in prison. So, like, that kind of scared me all the time. Like, I had that in the back of my head, like, yo, like, if you don't, like, figure something out, you're going to fuck around and end up just like, because I had a lot of homeboys around 2008, 2009 that went to prison, did 5 years, 7 years, and, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're on the cusp of that.
You're I'm like, I'm playing with that edge, you know what I mean? So I was like, I got to do something. So I decided to leave Cape Coral because, like, Cape Coral was just so hot at the time. Like, anything you did, it was, like, going to get you sent to prison. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't want to go to prison. I went to jail around 2008, and I had a gun charge. I beat it. But just going to jail at that time for that kind of serious charge, it was enough to really make me be like, I need to get the fuck out of here. So I went to L.A.
Oh, okay.
So I moved to L.A. I was in L.A. for a few months. I was in L.A. for like 9 months.
Now, was that your first time in L.A.?
No, I was actually born in L.A. I was born in L.A., and I was in L.A. until I was like 7 or 8 years old. Okay.
So how'd you end up in Florida, and then I guess Cape Coral? Was just moving around?
Well, yeah, my parents got divorced they got separated when I was like 7 years old. So my grandparents actually moved to Cape Coral first, and they bought a house because it was crazy. My grandfather, back in them days, they used to put shit on like the yellow pages.
Yeah.
And they like advertised South Florida, and like I guess there was no difference at that time between Southwest Florida and South Florida.
Gotcha.
So my grandfather's son, my uncle, was in Miami. He got a job in Miami. So my grandfather was looking for work in Miami, and he actually stumbled across somebody selling a landscaping business.
Okay.
In Southwest Florida, which he thought was like 5 minutes away from Miami.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, mi mamieda. He's like, yeah, it was like $5,000 or $7,000 at the time, which, like at the time was a lot of money, but, for a whole business, a trailer, all the shit. All the he was equipment. Like, what? Start my own business, go to Florida, start my own business. So he's like, I'm gonna do it. So he went. And when he came to realize he was 2 fucking hours away from Miami, he's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere. So he's like, well, fuck it, I already... he took all the steps. He fucking came. He spent the money, whatever. So he had no choice but to start it. He ended up getting a house on Santa Barbara in 97, 98.
Yeah.
And my mom and my dad were having problems and shit. So my mom decided to come over here.
Gotcha.
We came, stayed with my grandfather for like a year.
Yeah. In
Cape Coral when there was nothing out here. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and if you're from Cape Coral, around that time there was nothing
out here.
Nothing.
And then we came, it was like my 9 months, not even a year I was out here. And we went back to LA.
Okay.
Went back to LA, and then how that, I don't know, how that is, you back and forth, your parents go back and forth.
Yeah.
You're gonna get together, no, we're not gonna be together. We're gonna be together, we're not gonna be together.
Yeah.
And you just get dragged along kind of with it. So
you split your time between Florida
and LA for about a couple years. Yeah. And then my mom decided, she was not gonna go back and forth anymore, and we went to Miami.
Okay.
So we were in Miami for maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
And I finally got settled in Miami,
Yeah.
That was kind of like home then.
Yeah.
And then in Miami for a while, and I was getting in trouble, as a kid,
for sure.
Not having your
it's easy out there.
Yeah, it's easy to get in trouble, and plus you're raised with grandparents. And my mom was going to school and going to work. My mom did everything she could. My mom's a good ass mom.
Yeah.
But I would see my dad maybe once a year, summers, whatever. So, a single mom could only do so much to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah.
But you're going to rebel,
Absolutely.
8, 9, 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah.
You're going to do everything bad. You can't.
So, out of, so now you're kind of you did your first shop. You were doing stuff on the side because you couldn't, get a job anywhere because it was around the recession time. You go back to LA.
Went to LA.
Yeah.
I was working actually at a Mexican supermarket. She was crazy. It was I never been around, I never been exposed to that much different.
Mexican
it's
culture?
A culture. Well, I was as a kid, but not as an adult. So I was 19 years old, and I was working at a Mexican supermarket.
Yeah.
At a butcher shop and a taco shop. It was
just odd jobs.
Yeah. So I did that for a while, and then I was at that time it was a time where they were accepting basically anybody in the army.
Yeah.
So my dad always wanted me to be in the military because he was in the Air Force. So So he wanted me to be in the Air Force too. So I was yeah, man. I was at that time I was I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was I was kind of open to whatever. So I was I guess I'll try it. I'll go to the Air Force. So I go to the recruiting shop or the recruiters or whatever, and I tell them, yeah, I want to join the Air Force. As soon as they pulled out my record, it was hell nah, you ain't going to the I had tattoos already.
Yeah.
I had been locked up before, so they were nah, you can't join the Air Force. It's not for you. So I was okay, so what can I get into? The Army was shit, we'll take you. I was bet. So I ended up joining the Army. Went to the Army. I did 3. I signed up for 3 years. Mm-hmm. By the end of the 3rd year, I ended up extending my contract for a year.
Yeah.
I ended up getting out, got out of the Army. The whole entire time I was in the Army, I was cutting hair too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, were you pretty much cutting hair throughout that whole time?
The thing was, in the Army, wherever you get stationed at, usually it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's not a nice barbershop that you could go to or whatever.
For sure. And there's chop shops usually.
Chop shops
or whatever.
Getting fucked up. People getting fucked up. So I'm well, shit, I know how to cut hair. I started cutting a couple of people. Honestly, cutting hair fucking saved me out of a lot of bullshit in the army.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't stop getting in trouble just because I went to the army. I was getting in trouble all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Because I had no, consciousness of what it was to, like, have somebody above me telling me what to do because I didn't know what it was to, like, not bow down to somebody.
But yeah, like the rebellious spirit.
Yeah, like it's just me. Like I always got in trouble. Like this is just my life. I like get in trouble because I couldn't have nobody tell me like this is what you need to do. You can't do this. You could do this. Like it's not in me to like.
Yeah, you have to try it out for yourself.
I have to find out if it's bad. Like you can't tell me, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
So I went to the army. Got in trouble a lot. But cutting hair actually saved me a lot of shit. I got an Article 15 in AIT. So it's like basic training. You go to basic training. I got in trouble in basic training. Luckily, I got out of it. I got out of the trouble. Boom. This is like some bullshit, bro. I got caught smoking. Oh, I didn't get caught. Somebody snitched on me because they see me smoking a cigarette. I stole a cigarette from one of my drill sergeants, and I smoked that shit in the middle of the field. That was the best cigarette. I don't even smoke no more, but at the time I smoked. I smoked for like 7-8 years. But one of my drill sergeants had a pack of Newports. Had it in his uniform. And it was folded up in the bathroom. Yeah. And I asked, oh, can I use the staff bathroom? Because our bathroom was filled. I said, yeah, go ahead. Boom. I seen a pack of Newports.
What? Newports, baby? That's me.
I hid that shit. First chance I got, I was in the field. I smoked that shit. Somebody saw me and snitched on me. Yeah. But it was another soldier that seen me do it. So, they had no proof. It was his word against mine. Yeah. I said, oh, I ain't do it. But anyway, that's a long story short. I got in trouble in basic. Then I went to AIT, which is like training school. Went to training school. I got in trouble there. I got an Article 15. Kind of kept me there for a little bit longer. But what was good was that, a lot of the sergeants that were there, people that were above me or whatever, rank-wise, were like, like Hispanic, black guys, similar upbringing as me. So we kind of bonded in that sense. They're supposed to be my superiors, but they seen something in me that reminded them of them. And they seen that I could cut.
For sure. I feel like that's like an access point of like being a barber. Man. You could be in any room. Like, bro, it's like, oh, can you cut me up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Being a barber will open doors that nothing ever opened before. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, there's certain places you don't ever want to be in. You don't even want to think about yourself being in. But like, like if you're in jail, prison, fucking the army, any fucking weird situation that you could be in, being a barber, that shit's gonna bless you.
Yeah, you could be in the middle of Amazon and somebody wants a fresh cut. You know what I'm saying? So I was cutting all my sergeants and people that was above me and shit, and they like motherfuckers was fresh. We fresh, fade fresh, and like ain't nobody out there got a fresh cut like that. So they would start like letting me get away with shit. Like everybody else is doing this bullshit, like cleaning up or fucking doing bullshit. Like cleaning cigarette butts from. Or chopping trees or cutting grass or doing like bullshit. And then, hey, Yoyo, come here. Oh, damn. What's up, Sean? Hey, I need you to cut me up. You got your shit with you? Bad. Yeah. Take me to the staff duty desk. Yeah. They got a TV. Yeah. They got fucking snacks. Yeah, they're chilling.
We got music. Yeah. I'm hanging out. I'm cutting up people that's way above me in rank. So that kind of blessed me. Like, after that, like, that was my entryway to getting cool with anybody that was a higher rank than me. After I got out of AIT, I got stationed in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. I got in trouble in AIT. I was supposed to go to Korea. I got in trouble, and they canceled my orders. They kept me at AIT for like 2 extra months. Then they rebooked my orders. I got fucking Kansas. They reset my shit. Yeah. I got Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Yeah. It's the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Got sent out there. Boom. That's actually the largest, one of the largest military prisons in the United States. Okay. It's like Al Capone went to Leavenworth, Kansas.
Gotcha.
Leavenworth
So that's prison. Some infamy behind it.
Yeah. Well, there's two. It's Leavenworth Prison, and then there's Fort Leavenworth, the United States Disciplinary Barracks. Oh, okay. So any military member that's got into like serious trouble that's doing like more than like a couple years, anything like 2 years, serious. Like serious shit. I need like 2 years to life in prison. They're going to Fort Leavenworth. Yeah. So when I seen that shit on my orders, I'm like, damn, bro, like
it's gonna be a little rough.
Yeah. I got out there and I start start telling people like, hey man, I cut you up, I cut your hair. Start cutting hair in the barracks.
Yeah, just letting it be known.
Yeah,
I
like
know how to cut.
I know how to cut. Yeah, like cause over there they got one barbershop. It's in the PX, and they got some fucking like nerds cutting hair. 'Cause I think, well, I don't know now, so I don't know who's over there right now, but like in fucking 2010,
yeah,
it was just some fucking nerds over there cutting hair.
Just I won all over.
Yeah. Like no edge, your shit's fucked up, and you gotta pay them. And they was charging like $12 or some shit, which is cheap, but like
I feel like around that time too, that's kind of like more standard haircut too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I started cutting hair and shit over there. I basically was like saving up all my paychecks and shit, just cutting hair. Mm-hmm. So I did that until what, like 2014, and then I ended up getting out. Because I did 3 years. I extended for a year. And like this shit was never for me. Like the army wasn't for me. But even though it wasn't for me, it was for me at the time. Like
yeah, it's part of your journey.
It was part of my journey. Like I'm so glad I did that because it kind of humbled me a lot.
Okay.
Like being in the army humbled me because I was like used to being like nobody could tell me shit.
Yeah.
When I went to the army, I realized like, sometimes you ain't got a choice.
Yeah.
It's either you could listen or either you could let somebody take control of a situation and let them take control, or you could go against the grain and crash out.
Got you.
'Cause I see a lot of people like that's my age, that I grew up with. They grew up the same way as I did, and they crashed out. Like their life ain't worth shit right now, or they're like trying to like climb out of the hole they dug themselves.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, like sometimes you just go with the flow, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Got out. Once I got out the army, I didn't really know what I was gonna do. I was actually supposed to move to Africa.
Africa?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I have an uncle, right? He had a multi-million-dollar what's that shit called? Civil engineering company in Miami.
Okay.
And he moved to the Congo. Okay. In Africa, and he was doing it there, and he wanted me to come work with him and shit. I was gonna go work with him, but shit went south. I can't really get into the details of what happened, but he ended up getting stuck in Africa,
like, hey, you can't come to Africa now.
you can't come back to the U.S. type shit.
Luckily, you weren't out there.
Luckily, I wasn't out there, so I'm not gonna get into detail. But basically, I went and I got all my shots and everything. I got like all my vaccines.
Like, so you're ready to go?
Yeah, I was ready to go.
You had the ticket in hand, basically.
Yeah. Like I had like fucking 10 peanut butter shots, like straight fucking 10 fucking different like malaria, all kind of vaccines and shit. Because I was supposed to go over there and work. So I was kind of like not taking like the time that I had here in Florida serious because my plan was just to come to Florida, hang out for like a few months.
Yeah, like a spring break.
Yeah, like a long ass spring break. Like, excuse me. I got out here January of 2014. I was just gonna hang out from like January to maybe like June, July. Okay. And then head out to Africa. That was the plan. Once it started getting closer, I started realizing like maybe this is not a good idea. Like I don't know if it's everything that I wanted it to be. So it's funny because at the time I was getting my hair cut. There's a barbershop on Hancock and El Prado called Styles.
It's still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It used to be Giovanni's. Okay. That was the original Giovanni's. Like Giovanni.
He's a legend out here.
He's a legend out here. Like very like. In the Cuban community.
Yeah, in the Cuban barber community.
Cuban barber community is like the guy. Yeah. Like, if you want to be like anybody, that's probably who you want to be like. Yeah. He's like known for getting a storefront, making it a barbershop, getting barbers in it, making a fully established shop, and then selling it like a premium price. Yeah. But if you buy a shop from Giovanni, you know you're going to get a fully well-oiled machine going. That's gonna be paying you the day that you buy it.
Yeah, so. It's very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, he has a formula. Like I can't even tell you what his formula is because like he knows something that we don't know. He's got the sauce. He's got the sauce. Like he just make a barbershop, boom, and sell it, and just move on to it and make another one, sell it. And I've seen him do it a bunch of times. But anyways, I was getting a haircut there. And one of my guys, I was cutting my hair at the time. His name is Angel. He was cutting my hair, and he told me like. I worked with him at that first barbershop that
Oh, way back.
Way back
in
when.
08.
Yeah, '08, all that shit. We worked together, and he actually quit working there right before the shit got raided.
Wow.
Like, just so happened, like
Yeah,
it was
that's
just
perfect
like
timing.
It's like perfect timing. He just happened to quit before he got raided. So he told me he always, we always had a good relationship. He's like, hey man, I'm about to open up my own barbershop. If you ever wanted to get back into cutting hair, you should come back. You should come in and come work with me, right? So I did. I went over there. I seen that it was basically an empty shell at the time. I started helping him set up everything.
Yeah, for his own shop.
Yeah, you had him and his parents, like his dad, and they were building a shop out right next to Mambo, and I started helping him. Boom, we built it up. Man, it was honestly like the best. It was a really good experience for me. Like I was there maybe 2 years. Honestly, I felt like I would never leave that place. Like me and him were like really tight. That was like my brother.
Yeah.
I felt he was like my brother. And things change. People change. Life.
Yeah, situations happen.
Situations happen. And like basically, it got to the point that I felt like I kind of outgrew it.
Yeah, outgrew the shop for sure.
I outgrew the shop, but not so much outgrew the shop, but I kind of outgrew that. The vibe there, it changed. It was
sure.
It was at one point. It was like I would never ever think of leaving that place.
For sure, yeah.
But
and to put a side note, me and Greg, or Yoyo,
yeah,
we both worked there and all that stuff, and I left a little bit before him just because the vibe got different and all that stuff.
Yeah, so right around that time is when I met Nelson. Me and Nelson started. We were cutting together.
Yeah.
And my wife, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Break. Edit.
So
no, you're good. So yeah, once you basically decided to get out of that shop and that situation, where did you end up?
So I ended up leaving Halos. That was the name of the shop, Halos Barbershop. I ended up leaving Halos Barbershop, and I actually found it's called Flawless on Santa Barbara and Nicholas. I started working at I actually talked to the owner of Flawless, which is Gene.
Mm-hmm.
And,
shout out to Gene, man.
Shout out to Gene. Hey, bro. Gene, like, different kind of barber. It's like old school. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's famous just on word of mouth.
Yeah.
No social
IG,
media, none of that. Like, but if you ask anybody in Cape Coral, they're gonna know Gene.
They know who Gene is if you're a good barber.
Yeah, if you're even if you're just a client, even if you just get haircuts, like, I don't remember. Like, I think they started around 2009.
Mm-hmm.
They opened up that shop, and like, they just hit the ground running. Like,
yeah.
So I ended up going to Flawless, which is like a good experience for me because they're just like a high volume shop. Like,
yeah.
Each one of them are cutting 15 to 20 heads a day.
Yeah, because it was kind of a vetted shop at the time. Well,
yeah.
It still is.
It still is, yeah.
A vetted shop.
I think it was 2016 or 17. Yeah. 16 or 7. Yeah, I think 16.
Yeah. Now, at this time you had your clientele and all that stuff.
I started having clientele. Well, honestly, right before I left Halos is when I started realizing, like, I was really promoting Halos a lot as a shop. And I started realizing the kind of power that I had with my marketing. Like I know so many people in Cape because I went to high school here.
Yeah, yeah.
So once you go to high school here, it's like you end up meeting everybody. Like,
yeah, it's a
everybody
big, small town.
It's a small town. It's like, so I mean, it's a small town, but it's actually
gigantic.
It's huge though at the same time.
Yeah.
So once I started realizing I know so many people, I'm like promoting a shop that's not mine because I felt like it was mine at the time, but like, when I ended up leaving, I realized it's not mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I leave and none of these people are coming with me.
Yeah, yeah. So you built like that brand around
around myself. So I started, instead of promoting everybody else, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I wanted to like make some kind of, I wanted to brand myself, and the only thing that I really remember was being a kid in LA and like riding the bus, the metro, and like I used to skateboard and do graffiti, And one of the people that I used to see a lot, one of the things I used to see a lot, like everywhere I would go, was the Obey sticker, like
Shepherd Ferry.
Shepherd Ferry, and I would see the sticker of Andre the Giant.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, so it would be like a little, like a silhouette, like a pixelized picture of Andre the Giant, and it would be like, when I first started seeing it, it was like spray painted on a stencil. Mm-hmm. And it would be everywhere. It would be on the bus. Yeah. It would be on every skate park, under every bridge, on every like random walls. Like,
if you don't know who Shepherd Ferry is, look him up on Google and stuff like that. Especially in the
matter of fact, there's like a whole like documentary about him now.
Yeah, on Hulu, I think.
On Hulu or something like that. Yeah, like apparently, like I don't know, like people have mixed reviews on him just because, like, you know.
Yeah, it's blown up by now.
But. Yeah, well, you know how it is. Like, anytime anybody gets too much success or too much money off of something.
Too much clout or whatever.
Too much clout on something that's supposed to be counterculture. It becomes like, oh, people say they sell out or whatever. You know what I mean? But, like, honestly, like, I don't know. Me personally, I can't really be mad at somebody for making money off of something that they were doing for the fun of it, or for
there was no money involved for years,
and then you just make money out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you're a sellout. I don't know.
Yeah,
personally, I don't get it, but whatever. So I always thought that shit was dope, like that fucking. And you know, for the longest time, it's crazy because I would see this shit everywhere, and I would ask anybody. This is like before Google type shit.
Yeah,
this is like I'll be like, yo, what the fuck is this? Yo, like what the fuck is this? Like I remember coming up to like a fucking like. One of the stickers and scraping it off of the wall and like gluing it onto my fucking little, like, you know, the Walkmans.
Yeah.
And super gluing it onto my Walkman because I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I remembered that feeling of like not knowing what that is and wanting so desperately to know what it was.
Yeah, it's that question.
And like honestly, like if you're able to do that. That's so powerful. So I was like, you know, I need to somehow market myself. So what can I do to do that? So I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll take a picture of myself as if, like, you know, like Andre the Giant. Like Shepherd Ferry did of Andre the Giant that make everybody wonder, what is this? Yeah. So I started doing that here. I started taking a picture. Like, I took a picture of myself and I edited it myself on the phone.
Oh, on the phone?
Yeah, on the phone. I didn't even have a like laptop because I suck at computer, like with computers and shit.
Yeah,
I'm old school. Like I don't like. I'm straight with the phone, but so I just made the picture black and white and I just like pixelated the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
like I just turned down the fucking like high contrast black and white.
Yeah,
and I came out with the Yoyos, the Yoyo logo, right? And I was like, man, you know, it'd be cool if I just made a sticker out of it and just posted it every fucking way.
Yeah.
So from like 2015 to like basically till now.
Yeah, you still kind of do it.
I still kind of do it. I'm getting older now. I got kids and I got a wife and shit. So it's like it's kind of crazy that you see like a 30-year-old like
hopping out the Jeep. I've been in his car before. Him be like, you know what? I'm gonna tag this stop sign real quick.
Jump at the car and start putting it everywhere. And then, bro, honestly, the street market team, like, I had a lot of clients that were like anywhere from the ages of like 7 years old to like 25. So like that gives me like a wide range of young people that are just like crazy as fuck, like down to do whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll just give them all stickers. I'm like, yo,
stick to someone.
Here's 20 stickers. Here's 20 stickers. Put this shit everywhere, wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And you know, like at the end of the day, bro, the cops come and tell me something. Hey, bro, like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I give these stickers out to everybody when they get a haircut. Like, you get a free sticker with the haircut.
Yeah.
And that was like my little marketing point. And then when I went to Flawless, like that, I just kept running with it. And like Flawless, honestly, like I was cutting 15 to 20 heads a day. Mm-hmm. It was just a high volume shop, and like I wasn't used to cutting that many people. Like I would like on Fridays and Saturdays, but like every day, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
I'm cutting. Big boy shop.
You got to be ready to work. You know what I mean? And like honestly, that helped spread my name and like who I was all around. So I always told Gene, like, man, Gene, like he motivated me a lot to like. He never really like try to motivate me. It's just like watching him work or like seeing the type of hustle he had made me want to do it even more. Because like I never seen nobody stand behind a chair and make that amount of money or like live like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like nice cars, nice house, nice everything. Like he's like somebody that could compete with people that are in like multi-million-dollar businesses or like, you know,
but
like,
behind the chair.
But behind the chair, like as an actual barber, I didn't even know that was possible. And once I seen it done in front of me, it's like it gave me motivation to say like, oh, well, if anybody could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
So I always told Gene, I was like, hey man, I'm not leaving this shop until like I have the opportunity to open up my own shop.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. One day I'm cutting my boy Brooks. Shout out to Brooks too, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have this shop. It's my guy. He was he's a chef, and he was a chef at what's this Firestone at the roof what's that the rooftop Sky Bar. He was a head chef over there at Sky Bar, and he used to get cut here. This used to be Mr. C's.
Mr. C's.
It used to be Mr. C's, then it became Classics or something like that. Hair Mechanic, something like that.
Yeah.
So he told me that his barber was thinking about getting rid of his shop. So I was like, what? So he's like, yeah, man, my bar.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah. So my barber, or my client was like, you know, my client Brooks, he was like, my barber, he's been busy a lot lately, so I need a haircut. Can you cut me up? I'm like, yeah, man, no problem, come through. So while I'm cutting him, he's like, yeah, man, my barber's been thinking about moving to Orlando. He wants to leave, and he owns a shop on Cape Parkway. I was like, what? I was like, he's still trying to get rid of it?
Yeah.
So I got in contact with him. I came to the shop. As soon as I walked in here, I felt like, you know when you walk in somewhere and you feel like you've been there before?
Yeah.
So I felt that right away as soon as I walked in
like
here.
Like a homie vibe?
Yeah, like, I mean, all right, that's the thing. Cape Coral don't have that old school vibe to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of new construction. There's not too much history.
All right. Cape Coral is 50 years old.
Yeah.
50 to 60 years old total. Like, since the first fucking building been here is 60 years old, maybe. And really booming like that, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
So, there's not that, like, if you've ever been to any big city, New York, LA, Miami, and you go to a bigger city like that, and you walk into a building and you could feel...
Like that energy?
That energy. That there's been generations and generations here.
History.
There's history. There, like, you go into a building, you open the door, and you could smell that smell of, like...
Probably mold.
A little moldy. A little moldy
nice
smell.
Mold.
Yeah, it's a nostalgic mold.
Yeah.
So...
not enough to kill you.
Not enough to kill you. Enough to make you feel like, wow, it feels good here.
Yeah. I feel you for it. Why is the room getting dark?
So... I smelled that when I walked in here. I felt that. So I was like, you know, I have to have this place. Came out, did a little deal with him. I ended up buying the business from him. Didn't buy the building, you know, but I bought the business from him. And I came back after I bought it. I went back to Gene. I was like, hey, man, you know, like, I know I told you I'll be here until I open up a shop, and I just bought one.
Yeah.
And he was, like, happy for me. He was like, hey, man, that's what's up, bro, you know, like. He's like, hey, whatever, how much every time you need from me.
Yeah, and I think like that's important too. Like seeing in your journey how you began with kind of like a sketchier barbershop, you kind of pick out whatever is available, you know, to getting to more of a vetted shop and like seeing an owner and knowing the business. I feel like if you've been in the business a long time, you're happy for other barbers. You know,
of course.
There's no resentment.
Me, if any of my barbers leave, all I'm gonna hope is that they're moving up from where they're like. I don't want any of my barbers to move from my shop to a shop that's not doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're moving to a shop that's making more money, doing more numbers,
or your own thing,
or if you're opening up your own shop, even better. Like that's what I tell my barbers honestly. Like, yo, don't leave unless you know exactly what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave and not do what you're doing here at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have a game plan.
Have a game plan, exactly. So I ended up leaving. I came here, and at first it was scary because, you know, like I'm like, I'm all the way across on the other side of town now. You know what I mean? And I'm in this building, like in the middle of nowhere, like, or not in the middle of nowhere. It's like Cape Parkway is down the street, so it's like,
but it's in the cut a little bit.
but it's a little bit hidden, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if anybody could do it, I could do it. So I started. I kept promoting my brand, you know, and one of my main things was like to have the Yoyo's logo like put big as fuck on the building.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing I did. Like, I was like, I don't give a fuck how much it costs. First thing I need to do is put my logo on the building.
Yeah, because you've been putting that in people's heads.
I've been like pumping that shit for like 5 years straight. Mm-hmm. Anybody, like somebody has seen that shit. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they know what it is, because that's the thing. That's the whole thing. Like, build a little like infamy, like clout or whatever you would call it. Like, people see that shit over and over and they don't know what it is. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're driving one day down 47th and you see my shit lit the fuck up 2 stories high. Like, boom. Like, fucking 6 feet by 3 feet. Like, lit up in the middle of the night and you're on your way to a bar and you see it and you're like, oh shit. Yeah. That's that sticker I seen everywhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What is that? Oh, it's a barber shop? Bet. Yeah. You know, I'll pass by. Or maybe even if you don't pass by, like, you tell somebody, like, oh, you seen that new shop? And they pass by. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I know it must have felt, like, really good, too, when you kind of came to that moment of, like, the sign's up, you light it up for the first time at night, and it's your face. It's you. You know what I'm saying? It's all these years of building.
Honestly, that was like the moment that I realized that like everything that I've done up to this point like worked out. Like I remember the first week that I ended up meeting this guy that was walking down the road, and it was some fucking dreadhead just like me. I was like, yo, what's up, bro? He was like, hey, bro. He's like, yo, you work here? I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm opening up a shop. I was like, I don't know how the fuck we got into it, but we started talking about like graffiti and shit. He's like, yeah, man, I do graffiti. I'm like, oh, that's what's up, bro. I was like, what's up? You want to tag my shop up? His name was Haji. Yeah. He was like, yeah, man, I'll tag your shit. I was like, all right. I was like, what's up? I'll help you and shit. We'll tag it up. And bought a bunch of paint. Yeah. And we were like, we got to make this shit, like, different. So we come in here and we started doing this shit. We started tagging every fucking thing.
I'll put some footage of the shop and all that stuff, but it's dope. It's definitely completely different from what Cape has to offer.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, like in LA and Miami, like, graffiti was a big part of my life. Like, I always skated and I always did graffiti, but like, you know, like, I was never like that great at either or. I've never been the best skater ever. I'm probably pretty trash skating, and I'm not that good at graffiti either. Like I'm pretty trash compared to some people. Like you know, I feel like my shit's straight, but like I'm not. Like, you know, that's never, like, I feel like the one thing that I ended up excelling at was, like, cutting hair and, like, promoting myself. Yeah. But, like, besides that, there's people that's way better than me. But I always enjoyed it. I like the art of it. I like the expression of, like, being able to express yourself on a skateboard or with a spray can, you know what I mean? It's like,
the subculture of it.
The subculture of it, yeah. It's, like, usually the same kind of people hang together, you know what I mean? Like, people that fucking write and people that skate, like, kind of hang together and shit.
Yeah, because when I came in here, like, your shop and all that stuff, I felt like... for the first time, like, I felt like you're creating your own mini subculture in Cape Coral. You know what I'm saying? By, you know, one, your character in yourself or whatever, but also the stuff that you're into as well, like the graffiti, the cars and all that stuff, like the old school dunk stuff. Just like, I don't know, it's a vibe in itself, and it's not reflected on anything else. You're just doing you.
Right. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, honestly, like, after the army and shit like that, I realized, like one thing that I need, like, I don't give a fuck if I'm rich or I don't get rich or if I make, like, you know, obviously I want to be able to pay the bills and, like, make a little bit of extra money, make sure my kids are good. Yeah. But, like, that was never the fucking objective, was to get rich. The objective was to, like, make enough to pay my bills and do whatever the fuck I want and, like, not have nobody tell me shit. Like, I remember when we tagged up in here first. Like, we fucking sprayed all in here. And we're like, man, fuck that. Let's do some shit outside. So there's, like, a little fence right there. And I started fucking around on the fence, doing like little throw ups and shit. Me and Haji started fucking it up. And then I was like, man, we gotta do that fucking wall, bro.
Yeah, the
we got
wall inside the building.
Fucking big ass wall, like 2 stories high, about 300 feet wide. Like, we gotta fuck that wall up, bro.
Yeah.
And I asked the landlord and shit. I'm like, bro, like, yo, do you mind if, obviously I had to like word it a little different. Like,
yeah.
Yo, do you mind if we do a nice mural on the side of the building?
Bring
some art to the Cape. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't have no problem with that as long as it's classy. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be classy.
It's gonna be real classy.
I grabbed a bunch of cans and started fucking it up. And I put my name like fucking like 50 feet wide. It was like 15 feet tall. My name, just Yoyo, big as fuck on the side of the building. Just like, I don't know. It's like people drive by and just know this is my shit, you know?
Yeah, making you mark.
And making my mark. And honestly, that shit, I was not prepared for what the fuck that shit was gonna bring.
Yeah,
like,
which I'd like to get into that too. So like in Cape, all my life, I came from Miami as well and all that stuff, and seeing graffiti was a regular thing. But in Cape Coral, there's literally
none.
No graffiti, no art. Like I remember being so into the stuff, but there's nothing out here to support that. As far as I know, it stirred some noise in the neighborhood for sure, to say the least. So how did you feel about once you did it and all that stuff, and it kind of caused these issues? Was it fine for you, or was it like, fuck it, this is me?
Honestly, like, bro, like I said, like I've always been in trouble, bro. Like I've always been in trouble, so it's like, what the fuck? Like, hey, listen, I'm in, like, people are gonna trip, but at the end of the day, my landlord said that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah.
You gonna call it like, you gonna try to give me a fine? And then honestly, that's when all the fucking sticker shit started backfiring. Like, oh, he got stickers everywhere. He's putting stickers everywhere. Like, doing graffiti everywhere. Like, at the end of the day, bro, like, we all pay taxes, bro. Like, you don't ask somebody permission when you put a big ass advertisement on the side of the fucking highway that I have to look at every fucking time I'm driving to Miami from Cape Coral. I gotta look at your big ass advertisement on the side of I-75. Did you ask my permission to put that up there, even though I'm a taxpayer and I'm paying for this fucking highway? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
So guess what? At the end of the day, bro, like, I'm gonna write wherever I want to write at, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. You know what I mean? But like, honestly, like I avoid all that shit because I got kids and I got a wife and shit like that. So I don't even want the problems. But like,
as far as your own,
as far as something that I even got permission from somebody that's like renting the place out to me, he gave me permission. Like after that, like everything else doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
So, bro, I had like land developers come in here and tell me that I need to take that shit down because it's an eyesore and it's fucking up their property value and this and that. And what's crazy is like, I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, bro. I started hitting up other people from other places. Honestly, I didn't even hit people up. Like, people started hitting me up. Like,
yeah, because they started seeing it.
They started seeing it. I got on. They put me on in the news and shit. Like a couple of news stations came over here and they try to like make it like a fucking whole like.
Gangs are coming to Cape Coral.
Gang-related graffiti in Cape Coral. It's like, bro, I have nothing to do with a gang. I ain't never been in a gang. I ain't never nothing, bro. You know what I mean? That's not even me. That's not even my style. Like, gang shit is not my style. You know what I mean? And they try to make it everything's like a gang thing. They ain't got nothing to do with like, okay, in certain places gangs do write graffiti, but I shouldn't.
Yeah, it's Cape Coral, Florida, dog.
It's Cape Coral, Florida. They have no idea what the culture is. So
yeah,
like, I don't expect them to know what it is, but at the end of the day, I was gonna do me. So, like, I was on the news a few times, whatever, and like people started hearing about it, and like people started hitting me up from Tampa, Miami, different areas in Florida, and was asking me that, hey, bro, like, I see you got that big ass wall, let me get on that.
Yeah.
And
now, like, seeing it now too, like the ripple effect, because like it caused trouble, but now it seems like more of the norm, especially in downtown Cape. You know what I'm saying? Like. Even driving over here and all that stuff, like now there's more murals up or whatever. And I remember like seeing a news piece that was spin positive or whatever, like, oh, new color in Cape Coral or whatever. But you kind of got the flack for being the first. You know?
I mean, that's always how it is, bro. Everybody that wants to be like, bro, anybody that wants to start or like be different, you want to be different and you want to make your mark. you're gonna take the shit end of the stick.
Yeah.
Because you have to take the bullshit for everybody else.
Yeah.
So that was like, I honestly knew that was gonna be a part of it. Honestly, I was surprised that I got shit for the graffiti as opposed to like me posting up a big ass fucking storefront sign of my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I knew how obnoxious that was. You know what I mean? But I think it's part of like how I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna make sure I leave my mark wherever the fuck I go. So it's like I put a big ass fucking sign with my face on it. I thought that was gonna get like some kind of negative feedback, but honestly, people didn't even notice that shit. Yeah. They notice when I start fucking spray painting inside of a building. Yeah. So, you know, like, I had like crowds outside of people like being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, they're okay with that? Like, it is what it is. And then honestly, like, then ended up filling up the whole entire wall. I had like a bunch of different people like gods and like Haji, DKSR,
yourself,
Oz, me, oh my god, bunch of different artists, bro, and we all just started like doing different shit on the walls and the fence and then all of a sudden I start seeing people popping up with like murals and shit.
Yeah, now that it's more PC
or
whatever.
That's the thing. So it's like, you know, somebody has to get fucked in the beginning, you know what I mean? But then everybody's like, oh, well, you know, nothing happened to him. He's still good, so might as well. Yeah. But honestly, like, I like that shit, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't mind. Like, I honestly don't try to carry that shit on my back. Like, I don't feel like, you know, I'm like first to do anything because honestly, it's just here at Cape. But everywhere else, there's people that's like pioneered the shit for everywhere. Like anywhere you go, it's like Crooks and Chrome in Miami. Like they were fucking Crooks and Chrome was doing shit in Miami in the 90s, bro. And they were getting fucking locked the fuck up, bro. Locked up for doing shit in the 90s. And now fucking you go to Wynwood and all these fucking like rich ass people come from all over the world just to see graffiti, bro. Yeah. Shit that they used to go to jail for. Now you go to Wynwood and see it and like pay money to go into a fucking exhibit and buy a frame of some
piece of concrete.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. What the fuck?
So like that's interesting too. Like I feel like the barber industry has also taken that toll or whatever, you know, because like even looking back at, you know, 07, 08 and all that stuff, like barbering was a thing. It was a means of working and all that stuff, but kind of like, I don't know, how I see it now, it's more of a rock star thing. You know
it was different, bro. Back then, you do a design on your head. I remember doing a design on my head in fucking high school, putting a big ass GMB on the back of my head like this fucking big. Yeah. Get money, boys, big as fuck. And I'm getting sent home from school. You can't come back to school until you shave that shit or until it grows back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Now people got purple hair enhancements.
Yeah, like it's like a normal thing. It's like so. It's like, I mean, it's always gonna be something that's gonna push the boundaries of what's like socially acceptable. And like, I don't know. This is where I think certain people like feel comfortable and thrive at, like just pushing the envelope, like different shit.
Yeah. So as far as like as far as the future of the shop and all that stuff, I know you're always trying to push and all that stuff as far as what you bring into the community and all that stuff. Is there stuff outside of barbering that you're looking forward to or trying to do?
To be honest, man, ever since I had my kids and shit and my wife, like all my future plans really go towards them. Like, like I don't feel that like that hunger to like stand out as much as I used to.
Yeah, because you're a little bit more settled down.
Yeah, but like it's part of my personality, bro. So like no matter what my next venture is, I already know it's gonna be like something that's like not gonna be like probably welcome with open arms in the beginning. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's probably gonna end up being something that's gonna have like some pushback at first and then it's just gonna work out. Yeah. So like honestly it's like I don't even know what's next.
Yeah. Like you're built for it, I feel at this point.
I honestly I thrive in that what's the word for it? Like the adversity of it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I thrive in being like in a position where it's like uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I'm comfortable, I don't grow. So it's like when I'm uncomfortable is when it makes me do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think honestly that's what everybody should strive to do is like leave their own mark on whatever it is they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody has their own way of like of accomplishing what they want to do. Like as long as you go your own way about it and not try to follow somebody else's blueprint. Like if you're trying to copy somebody else's shit, it's always gonna work. Like it's always gonna be not as good.
Yeah, because it's a formula. Everybody can kind of tell off rip.
Unless you know what I mean. Like I ain't gonna lie, my shit was kind of like a formula too.
Yeah.
But it was a different.
It's a remix.
It's all right. So you could try to use somebody else's formula, but use it in a different. In a different place or a different way, you know what I'm saying? So like maybe I used a street art fucking graffiti formula, but I used it in the barber community, so it worked out because it was the first one in the barber community to do it.
Yeah.
So you could use a fucking formula of somebody else that's in a different, complete like category as you, and if you use it in your way, it could work out. But it's your own style. You add your own flavor to it. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I know we're hitting close to the mark time or whatever, just because I know you have to get back to your kids or whatever. But no, man, I really appreciate this conversation. I'm hoping that this AC isn't gonna ruin everything, but it's fine. But either way, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and being on the first episode.
Yeah,
bro. We've been friends for many years and all that stuff, and I'm hoping this platform opens up stories of just people in the barber industry trying to do something different.
Yeah, definitely, bro. This is definitely the first of many episodes.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch all of them, and I'm going to promote all of them as if they were my own. So
Appreciate you, dog. Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Well, this was The Present Barber. I don't know how we're going to intro it, but...
Episode 1.
All right. Peace, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you like this episode, please give us a rating and share the episode with somebody, and consider subscribing and following us on social media. Until next time, everyone, stay present.